Hello everyone, and welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wandering the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and for today's episode, as we celebrate yet another Indie Animation Day, let's bring on a fantastic creator bringing forth a universe, nay, a multiverse, of incredible concepts, fantastic characters, and just good vibes all around. Today's guest is Prettlophine Cotton, an animator, director, and color script artist, as well as the creator of the upcoming madly multiversal indie animated series, ZIPPED. I heard about ZIPPED due to another artist, which, trust me, we will be more than happy to shout out as we go through the episode itself. But ever since I first heard about ZIPPED, I have been absolutely amazed and intrigued with what this team is going to be putting forth. So I decided that I had to get the creator on to talk about just how this stuff even came to be and how incredible and ambitious they plan to be with this project, which leads to the fantastic conversation I have before you today. If you enjoy the guest, please make sure you support her with the links down in the description below. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff, it genuinely warms my heart. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend you check out the merch shop on fourthwall.com, that link in the description below. We have several sensational designs as done by some outstanding artists, including the incredible logo that you see before you as done by the awesome Roshan Galaxy. I think it would look fantastic on you today. And look, if all you want is a nice, cool, casual place where you can meet up with some of these incredible artists that we've had a chance to talk to, or other people that are fans of such artists and want to grow as a community, may I recommend you check out our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. We've been surprisingly growing in that server, and I think you would be a fantastic addition to that group today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic now that we're actually getting the chance to do this thing. Let's go.
I know. So exciting.
Good. I'm glad you are excited. I genuinely am.
I've been thinking about this all week. I was like, I'm so excited for the podcast. Oh my gosh.
So I'm assuming this is your first time being on a podcast, right?
Yes, it is.
What's the mentality right now? Excited, nervous, anxious, all the emotions or whatnot?
I'm excited. I'm just hoping that I answer all the questions without stuttering, because I feel like I'm a stutterer when I overthink a response,
Believe me when I say you're probably not going to be the only one stuttering this entire podcast, all right?
Yeah.
Even though I've done this for over 200 episodes right now, there are times where I will still stutter like a madman, all right? So
it's all good.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, by the way. It's honestly really cool to get a chance to chat with you.
Yeah, of course. It is so great to chat with you as well. I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I will say, obviously, I've been keeping good tabs when it comes to ZIPPED and stuff or whatnot, and I figured, especially with Indie Animation Day creeping around the corner, what better way than to, get a little bit of a cross-promotional kind of thing going, help, because this episode will go out, on Indie Animation Day itself, so there you go.
That's so exciting. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going ahead and recording some stuff ahead of time because... Mm-hmm. Not this week, but the next 2 weeks after that or whatnot, I'm not posting a single episode because I'm going to Florida. So there you go.
Oh wow! What for?
Partially for a convention called MegaCon, and then partially just to hang out with a bunch of friends, that I got the chance to be with at MomoCon last year. So.
This year, so if you end up being at MomoCon this year, then let me know.
Well, the beautiful thing about where I am is because I feel like the same is going to be based for you based on your little lanyard right here. I'm based around Georgia, so it's very easy for me to get to MomoCon.
Yeah. I'm from Maryland, so I'm really new to Atlanta and the urban setting because Maryland's a little more suburban. Yeah. So, when I heard that MomoCon's basically, I'd say, around, 15 minutes away, or maybe a little less than that. Oh, yeah. I was like, whoa, really?
I was going to say, do you know where the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is and State Farm Arena is? General location or whatnot? Now that honestly, hey, that's fair. That's understandable. I was gonna say like if you've ever like, if you ever get a chance to like travel around and you pass by it or whatnot, it's literally right next to State Farm Arena, which is where like the basketball team plays and whatnot, and like literally right next to where like the giant stadium that's in Atlanta and such. So there you go.
That I heard some people talking about it and they were like, oh, it's not too far, and I was like, oh, thank God. But oh wow.
Easily you could take the MARTA, you can get on there and you can be like basically right there. That because there's
awesome.
Yeah, because there's a stop that stops at State Farm Arena and the convention center is right next to State Farm. So there you go.
Noted.
Yes.
So excited. Oh my gosh. Like, this will be my first like major convention too.
Trust me, it was like that for me last year as well, and trust me, you're gonna have a blast. Okay. Like,
I'm so excited.
Trust me, I was planning on going at least the Saturday and Sunday. Partially because I got, I have work and whatnot. And I'm already taking enough of vacation to do this Florida trip. I can't take more vacation to do the MomoCon stuff. But, I know whenever I was at MomoCon last year, I was just absolutely blown away with just how huge it is more than anything else. Like, like I'm sure you'll get a chance whenever you actually see it or whatnot. But like a lot of people, a lot of space, a lot of vendors or whatnot. Like the fact that the convention floor is basically just like 3 giant areas or whatnot, like on the baseline.
Oh my gosh.
And that's not considering that you have to go like upstairs for like certain like events or like certain things that are going on. It will seem overwhelming, but trust me, you'll have a blast.
I'm so excited! Oh my gosh! And another thing is, I know a few folks who are also making their own indie shows.
Yep.
I know Andy's going; he's working on Horizonauts right now. Maud's going; they're working on Hearts of Titan. A few folks on ZAM are gonna go. I know a few, indie like folks are going. I know a few other folks who are working on TADC are going. And that's just gonna be so exciting. We're hoping to do like one big indie meetup. Because it'll just be like, it could just be like all of us just like taking pictures or just, introducing ourselves in person, because like we've all spoke over the phone. Yeah. So I'm really excited.
Well, I was gonna say, I know it kind of happened last year. I'm part of the animation appreciation hub, and we do like a giant like indie meetup as well, where it comes to a bunch of people from there. Plus I know that like a bunch of people like Kayla Davis for Skelly and Travis Fowler for Dungeon Flippers and whatnot, they're supposed to be there as well. So I mean, believe me when I say it's amazing how many indie animation people are just gonna be at this thing. So
I'm so excited just to see everybody. It's gonna be so fun.
It is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm telling you right now, like if nothing else, you're definitely gonna have a major blast just by experiencing just everything that is there. Like, because like I said, because like obviously you're going to be meeting a whole bunch of people. Artist Alley is huge. The vendors are absolutely amazing. There's literally just like a giant wall for all the people that you can get autographs from. That's how big it is. Yeah, straight up when it comes to that kind of thing. It's big enough to where they have like a wrestling ring and they do like wrestling matches throughout the day. That's how big this thing is.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Oh my god. Is it literally just wrestling, or is it like cosplay wrestling? Like what is it?
It's like WWE style wrestling, all right? So
oh my god. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, it's absolutely insane, which is hilarious because actually whenever it was going on, there was like one person that, because again, being from Georgia, I'm a huge fan of wrestling myself, so I'll go to like a local wrestling show, and I saw a couple people in the thing at MomoCon that I've seen at like the local wrestling show stuff. I'm like, hey, it's this guy, it's that person, like, hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh, that sounds really fun. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, can May come around any quicker?
I know, right? For me, I'm like, can February come around any quicker? Which by the time this episode releases, it will be February, so there you go. Goodness.
So exciting.
All right, man, before we really do get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It's just you alone with your thoughts. You can kick back, relax, breathe, get to really enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations. I shouldn't say you're not stranded on an island. It's like a little personal B&B paradise away from society for a little bit. To make sure you don't go completely insane on this island, you could bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Oh my gosh. You said one piece of media or one piece of artwork?
Mm-hmm. Whatever you consider media or art, it's all under that umbrella.
Ooh. I think I'd bring, like, the entirety of Steven Universe with me.
Okay.
That's my comfort. I love the music. I love the visuals. That would bring me to ease. I think it would add to, like, the atmosphere of the island I'm already on. You know?
At least until you get to that final season, like the stress-filled episodes kind of add you with a little bit of like, oh
yeah.
Not saying they were bad, but just like the subjects that
the stress.
The stress that they tackled in those last few episodes were something else.
Oh yeah. I'll be going crazy with Steven, actually.
There you go. What is it about Steven Universe that's like the instant like go-to for you, if I may ask?
I mean, okay, if I'm being honest, I am rewatching it, and I have been, like, for a few days. So it's just been, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm revisiting a comfort that I've always had. That show's just so soothing to me. And I feel like, okay, I know Steven towards the end goes a little haywire, but also at the beginning of the series, I feel like Steven as a character perfectly encapsulates, like, peace. Like, that character just is the word peace, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of actually like addressing more or less like the trauma head on instead of just like, hi, everything's all happy-go-lucky, hi. What's this about my head possibly exploding? What? No, it's nothing.
Exactly. And just the music as well. Like, Rebecca Sugar did such a stellar job with the music in that show. I still listen to it, and I have been since the show first premiered. So, like, I've been a long-time fan. I've been here since day one.
Amen to that, amen. Have you checked out her her independent album that she did? Because I've been meaning to, like, check that out. Is it good? It
is really good. It's super good. Like, I'm gonna be so honest. I feel like her newer album, like, I feel like it was kind of like a cleanser for me, because, like, I feel like all the music I've been listening to, because I listen to a lot of, like, remixes and dubstep and, like, all of the really, like in there, like, hard-hitting, quick, you know, fast-paced music. So listening to something soothing is something that my body needed. It's like it was a cleanser for me.
Extremely valid at the end of the day. But regardless, Steven Universe, that is your answer. You're locking that in.
Yes, I am.
Then if that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. Woo! I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You would look fantastic in the merch that we have at the merch shop, fourthwall.com. Link to that is in the description below. And follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and most social media platforms at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. She is an animator, director, and color script artist, as well as the creator of the upcoming madly multiversal indie animated series, Zipped Up. Welcome to the podcast, Prettlophine Cotton!
And the crowd goes wild!
And hopefully I didn't butcher your name that badly. No.
You didn't butcher it. You're good.
Good. Wonderful. Awesome.
Yes.
How are you doing today, Min?
I'm doing great. I'm just so excited for this podcast. We're going to have a blast.
Good. I'm excited for you to finally be here. Ever since I first caught a little glimpse of Zipped Up, back whenever you guys made the initial like cast announcement, that's whenever I first heard about Zipped Up. And ever since then, I have just been keeping an eye on what you guys are doing and really excited to see more and more of this unique, bizarre, out of this world, completely bonkers series that you guys are developing, and I cannot wait to talk about that and so much more. But before we talk about what you guys are doing nowadays, I want to learn more or less like the origin story of Prettlophine, or at least, I want to know the origin story of you. What got you interested in art and animation and such in the first place?
Great question. So where it all started, when I was younger, I'm an only child. So I would kind of, I'd spend my time watching a lot of cartoons growing up. Okay. And I remember when Cartoon Network had, like, their first, like, big boom, I feel like, or maybe second big boom, I'd call it, in the early 2010s when it was, like, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, The Amazing World of Gumball, like, all of these big, like, well-known shows first coming out. I remember I was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to make shows like this, and I want them to be on TV one day. So I remember, pretty sure I was watching Steven Universe or I was watching The Amazing World of Gumball, but I used to, when I was little, I used to slow down each and every episode just to look at the frames and, like, all of the different details in each and every scene just to see, like, how people make this a reality. And I remember, going on my tablet when I was younger and doing research, like, how do people animate, and how do you work at Cartoon Network, and how do you do this, and how do you do that? And it inspired me so much that I had used my tablet to record myself playing with toys, and I'd edit those videos together. I'd write scripts and all kinds of stuff, and I had a little YouTube channel at the time. Don't anymore. Fine. But what was so wonderful about that, it had inspired me to really take it to the next level. So when I was in my senior year of high school, I was like, okay, I want to make my own cartoon show now. So Zipped Up blossomed out of that little idea that I had. So.
I mean, the fact that you had that like inspiration early on with what I consider the rebirth of Cartoon Network, because I'll be honest, I'm a bit older than you. I remember like the 2000s or whatnot. I remember whenever we had like the good old heyday when it comes to like the Ed, Ed and Eddie, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and such. Even in like the late 2000s, or like where you had like the good shows like Flapjack Chowder, Classic 3000 and such. You had those, and then they came to the Dark Ages, the live action era. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trust me, I was there when the script was written. but to be there for you, seeing that kind of the rebirth of it, and with the incredible shows that it came out with, like you said, like the Adventure Time, like the Amazing World of Gumball and such, and the fact that early on you weren't thinking, haha, those are cool characters, is, oh wow, how did they do this? That's really insane. And like, for perspective, for people that are curious, around that time, what were you about, like, because I seen somewhere you were like, what, 7 years old when that stuff was like creatively hitting you?
Yeah, so I was 7 when it started like hitting me creatively, but I'd say when those shows came out, I was maybe 5 or 6.
Right.
So like it wasn't until like 1 or 2 years after that I was like, okay, like I'm gonna just start making stuff,
Which is insane to even think about in the first place. Like, because again, most people, especially that age or whatnot, they're just thinking, pretty colors, beautiful, funny characters, silly joke. But no, like, again, you had that like creative forwardness in mind, just be like, I need to know how they do, like, how did they get like the character, how did they go from 1 to 2 or whatnot, what's this thing called a smear frame or whatnot. Like, that's insane to think about, especially that young. Like, was it that early on that it more or less like clicked for you that this could actually be a career or whatnot? Like, when did you more or less realize this could go from like a general love and passion for this kind of stuff to truly wanting to be in the field and make it your career, what you want to do for the rest of your life?
I think as early as like 2nd grade, I was saying I wanted to be an animator, and my mom had always said, I want her to be a lawyer. I don't know what animation is. Like, why does she want to do this thing? It's art. Like, stop. And I kept saying, I don't think you understand. Like, I want to do this. This is a passion that I have. And I mean, like, from as early as like, I'd say around 5th grade, I started animating. I started learning more about storytelling and character design. And I've always had like ideas in my head as to what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to apply them yet until I got to around middle or high school. So, I was just learning. I was absorbing the information I would look at online or hear online. I would see what other people were up to. I know when indie shows like Has Been Hotel started coming up, I remember I saw the sneak peeks for that before the pilot even came out. So it was little things like that where I was like, people are doing things just on their own. They're just starting. They're finding people interested, and they're making their shows a reality without even already working at Cartoon Network or anything of that sort. Because I'm so used to like the success stories of like Rebecca Sugar and so many other directors and creators of these incredible shows, but they all started working at a studio. So I know when Has Been Hotel first came out, I was like, ooh, like, you can just do this? Wait a minute.
it's like before you had kind of the vision or like the plan in mind of, all right, I get to college, I do this whole entire thing or whatnot, I get into a studio and that gives me the opportunity to actually do this. And then you see, like you said, Has Been Hotel, like start gaining popularity and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, there's a plan B. There's options.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's surreal because I a lot of the people I've looked up to in the indie animation space are people that I can like ask questions to now and say, how did you do this when you started conceptualizing this show, or how did you go about this opportunity, or how did you do this? And they're responding, and they're teaching me, and they're kind of taking me under their wing and telling me how they went about going about making their shows, and how they went about recruitment, or how they went about advertising. So I'm like a walking sponge, right. And I always have been since I was little. So it's just, It's so exciting. I love indie animation so much.
I mean, I think that's one of the beautiful things about indie animation is just like how open a lot of these creators can be when it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, I can kind of speak freely about it because, I've been able to bring on a bunch of indie animation creators or whatnot and have them talk about like their projects, how they got to this point, like their plans and all that kind of stuff. But like, especially for you, someone that's like really taking that major step forward and trying to do that on your own or whatnot, having that kind of your what was people you had looked up to now being your peers and kind of helping you lead down the right path and just kind of being like, hey, this is what I did, either do the it'd be I would recommend doing this, or hey, you might want to avoid that, that's a scam over here, something along the lines of that. So.
Yeah.
That's just the beauty of indie animation these days, and especially like the community that's more or less built around it. But I also want to go back, just take one step back real quickly, because I forgot to ask this as well. Like, obviously having that love for animation is a really major thing to have in this industry in one form or fashion. What is it about animation for you that just like really opened your eyes and like creatively like developed as like, this is the field I want to be in?
Something about just telling a story that could change lives and inspire others always meant a lot to me. I know, like I talked about earlier, Steven Universe was one of the first shows that I had watched when it first premiered and followed all the way to when it had ended. And I know the lessons that they teach in that show, I don't know, they really spoke to me growing up, and it really changed the way that I saw life and the way that I saw other people. So I kept thinking in the back of my head, I want to make something like this for someone else, or for a group of people, or for a community of people. Something about animation changing someone's life or changing the way that they see life that's inspirational to me. And so that's just why I'm so passionate about it. I've always been passionate about it. And a lot of people, they say, oh, that's just a cartoon, like, oh, whatever, like changing lives, it's so nerdy. No, it's not. Y'all, you never know. There's a character out there that you can relate to. Doesn't matter what the show is, doesn't matter how popular it is. There is some character that can represent a stage of your life, that can represent the growth in your life, that can represent maybe even the bad parts of your life. So it's little things like that where I just think about that in the back of my head, and I'm like, that's animation to me. It's inspiration, it's life changing. That's what it is. It's just storytelling to change lives.
Absolutely. And I will say, like, especially when it comes to the Steven Universe of it all, more than anything else, I know a lot of people these days, they give a lot of flack and they give a lot of crap when it comes to like what Steven Universe, especially how it ended and this and that, blah blah blah. Let's be honest. Rebecca Sugar did a masterclass when it came to that show. Like, despite everything that was going against her when developing that show or whatnot, the fact that she was able to tell such a cohesive story and like create so many memorable characters throughout, ones that like resonate with you and resonate with a lot of people out there or whatnot. Like, that's just a testament when it comes to like what animation should be these days. Like, compared to some shows that are out there, or some animation that are up on like mainstream media, or things that are attempting to be mainstream media, to where it's just like, hey, we tell the joke and then you just kind of move on. The fact that you have a story like that resonated with you so much, I can understand how that really helped you in kind of your growth, both as a person and also as a creative yourself, like really seeing how they're able to tell that story and wanting to tell kind of your own in a similar sense. I mean, it's gotta be insane to think like what you're taking from that show and instilling it into your own stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of things in Zipped Up that I'm not gonna, no spoilers, but there are a few things that I feel like I not stole, but like I was so inspired by Steven Universe that I was like, we have to apply it, y'all. like Steven Universe did it so well, like there has to be something in here that we could just like fit in there for like even a second, even if it's just a little joke, There
you go. I'm also curious, because obviously we gave a lot of spotlight when it comes to Steven Universe. Was there any other animated shows, especially early on, that kind of really grabbed your imagination and like creativity early on?
Oh, absolutely. Wander Over Yonder is a big one.
Yes.
Watched Wander Over Yonder when it premiered, watched it when it, like, all the way to when it ended. Craig McCracken is also one of my biggest inspirations. I was a huge Powerpuff Girls fan. When I went to Disney Channel, saw Wander Over Yonder, that was like a new love. I'm usually like attracted to shows that have like the happy-go-lucky, always positive characters, the main character. I love to see how those characters combat being positive in such negative settings. Right. Like, I love how there are some episodes where Wander Yonder just can't be happy anymore, and he might get frustrated, he might get mad, he might get upset. Like, it's stuff like that that I really resonated with. And, you know, there are also other shows like My Little Pony as well. I feel like My Little Pony storytelling is absolutely amazing. I love the characters, I love the songs. I'm a huge musical junkie, so anything with songs, I'm gonna love it.
You a musical junkie? No.
Yeah. What? What are you saying?
And especially with what you're talking about, all those different shows, I can instantly see a lot of that being influenced into what you're putting into nowadays, which, I mean, we've danced around it at this point or whatnot. We might as well go ahead and address the big reason why we're here today. You've taken a lot of these influences and a lot of these loves for animation and whatnot, and you're developing your own animation for it called Zipped Up. This, like I said, this madly multiversal indie animated series, as has been described online, an original animated series about two teens, a cowboy and a robot, unzipping their way into the what-ifs of the multiverse. Now,
yep.
For those that may be curious on what exactly that means, what exactly is a more detailed concept of this story for people that may be curious?
That's an awesome question. So Zipped Up, just like avoiding any like super big spoilers. Yeah, so Alejandra and Nelly are like your ordinary average teenagers. They're awkward, they're silly, you know, like they're still experiencing the world. But lo and behold, find this magical zipper. They go, oh, what is this? Unzip it, portal opens. They get sucked into a universe, and now they're trying to get their way back home. So as they're trying to get their way back, back home, they have to go to all of these different universes in the multiverse to see if they can find their way back home, meaning that they have to find all kinds of villains and all kinds of controversies and all of that in all of these different universes. And along the way, Levi and Gadget are just helping them out. They're just trying to help them navigate through this new multiverse that they have now found themselves in. Vapor, who is trying to take over the multiverse and kind of make it, instead of everything being original, he wants it all to be the same. He's like, oh, everybody should just be sad and the same. No one should be different. And so he's just trying to seize this zipper from these two kids so they can't stop his evil plans. So just kind of TLDR, that's what Zipped Up is about.
I will say, for a TLDR, that is very descriptive and very insane for someone that may be stepping into this world in like the first, like, like, even first absorbing what little hints and teases we've been able to get so far, I'm still trying to wrap my head on just how insane this world could potentially be and how creative of an idea this is in the first place. What was the inspiration for Zipped Up? Like, how did you develop this idea to its existence we have today?
Yeah, so one of the biggest inspirations for Zipped Up was Wander Yonder. Okay. I don't know if you could tell by Levi's design, but very Wander inspired, just a little bit. But I loved how Wander Yonder, every single episode was on a different planet. Okay. And I loved how they kind of played around with the sandbox idea of just the galaxy having all these different planets with all of these different characters and problems that they could solve. So I kept thinking in the back of my head, why not go the extra mile and do multiverse? Why not just like put your main characters just in any universe with any like change? Like, it could be anything, like, oh, what if everybody's a cat? Like, you know, something really silly that you can make into something so big. Like, I love stuff like that. And I feel like with Zipped Up, it's kind of a sandbox for its community as well, because when you tackle multiverse, it's also, oh, technically everyone's OCs are canon too. So if someone makes a Zipped Up OC, they're technically in the show.
There we go.
So, you know, it's little things like that. Like, I love thinking about, because Zipped Up is a kid show, I love thinking about the kids first, because imagine just like liking a show and then you're like, I want to make a character, and then maybe one day you might see that character in an episode in the background or something. You know, like, it's little things like that I want to make something that can inspire kids to also want to create and be creative with their ideas, because you never know. Might be in the show. You never know.
I mean, to be fair, like, the fact that the kids are more or less like the emphasis of who you want to like talk to and like really spark their own inspiration. I mean, that's how kind of you got here at this point, like watching some of these incredible animated shows that we just talked about, and how that more or less inspired you to get to where we are today, to where we have this.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a good mentality to have at the end of the day. It's really cool to see how this like idea really spawned from, again, the shows that you love, kind of evolving it, messing with the formula a little bit, but also like coming up with like these fun little characters that you more or less provided or whatnot. Like, it's really insane how developed and how much you've been able to come along with this. Like, how long have you been tinkering with this idea, more or less?
So Zipped Up was conceptualized in my junior year of high school. I was encouraged by our teacher at the time, to think outside of the box with my AP exam. And so I was like, oh, I've had these characters, like just random little designs in my head for quite some time. I know Levi's design has been in my brain since like 2021. Alejandra and Nelly have been in my head since 2020. RCCK as well, our little cat villain, has been in my head for a very long time. So all of these different designs, I was like, instead of just making them their own thing, why not just put them all in one universe? So I remember I just went crazy. I went ham. My ideas just flooded into my sketchbook. I'm talking maybe 16 pages just worth of different concepts I had for Alejandra and Nelly and RCCK, Levi, Gadget. Like, Gadget used to have limbs. Isn't that crazy? Like, Gadget used to have a wheel as feet. Like, that also happened for a little bit. But I kept playing around with this idea, and at a certain point I was like, okay, what if they go to different universes? What if they, what if I play around with that? So I kept thinking, how else would they do that? And I kept thinking, I'm wearing a sweater with a zipper. Oh, zipped up. That's a zipper, zipper that can make a portal. So I just kept throwing these crazy, outlandish ideas together, but it all turned into something that made sense. And so in my senior year of high school, I kept thinking in my head, I just want to make these characters a thing. Like, I don't want to wait. Like, because I knew I was going to go to college after high school anyway, but I kept thinking I don't want to wait my full 4 years of college to make this show a reality. So out of nowhere, I text my best friend and I go, hey, do you think it'd be a crazy idea if I just make a LinkedIn account and just start working on this show? And she was like, no. So in December of 2023, I started, kind of posting my characters. I started, talking more about the ideas that I had. And then a lot of people were showing interest. They were like, ooh, that's a really cool idea. Or, ooh, like, I want to work on this. And so we started off with a team of 15, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now we're a large team, passionate about these characters. So it's been a fun ride.
And can I just say, like, shout out to that incredible crew that I've been able to see working on so many different aspects and really bringing a lot of that stuff to life. Like, for example, that best friend. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you talking about the wonderful Bryn Lewis, a.k.a. Borotello?
Yes, I am. Called her right before this.
There you go. I'll say.
Yeah.
To be fair, if it you should be thanking Bryn, because if it wasn't for them, I would not have heard of this project or whatnot, because obviously them getting a lot of popularity for that wonderful, amazing digital fight club brought me to their page initially, but then like seeing, you're also working on this animated series? What? Zipped Up. Oh, this looks cool. What? Huh? How have I missed this out or whatnot? Like,
yeah.
It's gotta be insane to think that like someone that cool and that talented is having a hand bringing this thing to life.
I know. Bryn and I have been friends since, I think, 2022, and we've just been inseparable since the day we first met. And Bryn has always been like one of my biggest supporters, as much as I am her as well. Like, we've just supported one another. We used to work on little animations here and there, like just together for fun, like on the side. And then it grew into us just thinking like, let's just work together on this thing. And so every little idea that I had, Bryn would say, do that, or wait, you could try this, or oh, we could go this route, or we could do this. And so, like, really genuinely, like, my confidence in this series would not have, like, erupted if it weren't for her, like, really encouraging me to just, like, make my dreams come true and just start, Because Bryn is the sweetest girl. She's very talented. Shout out to Borotello on Twitter and on all social media platforms. Please go check out her stuff. She's amazing. She is amazing. And very soon, she will be coming to SCAD, and
Ayo.
we'll be working together in person more.
There you go. And Brandon, if you're listening to this, and I think you probably will be, because in fact you want to show that love and support to men in the first place. I'm gonna go ahead and say this: I am extending an invite to the podcast because I would love to have you on to talk about like your art or whatnot, because you are a fantastic artist in your own sense. But yeah, no, like, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg where it comes to like the incredible crew that you have going below it. Like, just seeing what you've been able to accomplish with the like iconic character designs that you have developed, the wonderful animations. I gotta say, especially the more that I've seen as of lately, how smooth the animation you guys are presenting absolutely blows my mind. Like, it's borderline like super duper professional with how well the animation is for you guys. Like, it's gotta be insane to think that, like, especially at this point with the crew you've amassed, like, it's gotta be insane the amount of talent you have squeezed in on this, unique project that you've been tinkering with for a while.
Our team is so awesome. Seriously, none of this would be possible without all of them and all of their hard work. I mean, just the sheer response that we had gotten when we had opened up our actually recently our 2D animation job call. People just like with the most insane portfolios, like so many, in fact, that I was like, I just want to choose everybody.
Right.
Like it's been insane, and seeing what they're still doing now, I'm sitting here like, how did this start in my basement? Like, like a part of me is like forgetting that sometimes I do forget that this is my show, because that's how amazing it is. It's our show. It's the entire team's show. Like, all of us have put our love and passion for animation into this pilot. I mean, even little things, like we've had some people say like, what if we had Kester do this instead, or we could write this joke in, or we could try this, and I'm open to every idea because they're all just so brilliant. Like, with every little thing that they suggest, every little thing that they do, it's just absolutely amazing. The Zipped Up crew, shout out to all of you. You're all amazing.
Yeah.
Love you guys, seriously.
I was gonna say, like, it also doesn't hurt that creativity really does get to flow thanks to the amazing cast you've got alongside this, really bringing these characters to lives. I mean, running through a list here, just some of the characters. You got Daniela Valkova, Jari Cofield, Michael Kovac, Elise Dempley, Amanda Hufford, Deshaun Ricks, Nolan David. Like, that's just a portion of like the incredible people that you have. Like, it's gotta be insane as well to think that these voice actors are really putting in a good effort to really bring a new life to these characters that who knows how they would have been interpreted otherwise.
I know it's absolutely it's been life-changing. Seriously, I will say, for one, I used to watch Michael on the Honeycast when I was in middle school. middle school Brett was like, oh wow, Michael's so cool. Wouldn't that be crazy if I worked with him in the future? Boom. Awesome. If I could tell younger me where we were at now, I think she'd start crying. I mean, our cast is incredible, and also outside of just what they've done for the show, I have made a lot of like really awesome friends out of this project. I mean, who could ever tell me that I'd like be friends with all of our voice acting cast? I mean, everybody is so sweet, so kind, and I've really been trying to like plan like a meetup with everybody. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be in Atlanta at this time, come here. We're gonna meet up. We're gonna do this. Like, I want to see everybody. I want to give everyone a big fat hug. Like, everyone is insane. They're nuts, and their talent is nuts. Because Zipped Up is a musical show, there's a lot of singing involved, and just the sheer singing talent is amazing as well. Like, geez, I could go on and on.
I was gonna say, I mean, I know with what little we have been able to see, like, the fact that Deshaun Ricks is putting in a phenomenal performance with like the Big Shot song that you guys are presenting so far or whatnot, like, if that's just, again, a taste of what we can expect when it comes to the singing, when it comes to the show, I am excited when it comes to this thing. I did want to at least ask this: what is it about, like, how important was it for you to add that kind of like musical effect to a show like this?
Knew that I wanted to make a musical type show. I've always been into shows with musicals like my entire life. I've loved musicals my entire life. So it just made sense to do it. But it was just a matter of like how ambitious we wanted to be about the music, because it is a pilot. Right. And, with it being a pilot, I didn't want it to be like 8 songs. So we were trying to like boil it down to at least 3, which like hoping the villain song is the big one. And actually really fun fact about the villain song, Bryn and I wrote that on my couch in my living room.
Okay.
Yes. And we're not lyricists, but I just knew that like her and I working together on something like this could be like our little music baby, you know? So we were on my couch and we were going through it and I was like, oh, maybe you should add this. And she was like, oh, but we could do this too. And I was like, yeah, we could do this part too. And then we just kept adding and adding and adding. And at the end, we put something together, sent it to our team, and everybody was like, this is bomb. And, you know, Zach P. and the way that he went about composing the instrumental, that just made it a reality. And I know earlier you had mentioned that Deshaun did the singing. Fun fact, no, he didn't. Guess who did?
Who did?
Yes, he did. It was a very close family friend of Bryn. His name is Greg.
Okay.
And he was so excited to voice a character in our pilot that we actually did a live recording session at a music recording studio, which was so fun and life-changing because I never thought I'd be in that spot. I was sitting in there like in tears. I was like, I'm here and we're recording in like a booth. Like that's nuts.
Yeah,
because I'm so used to everything being remote.
It's almost that kind of like almost that realization of like I'm basically here. I'm where I want to be. I'm where I need to be at the end of the day. And I will say apologies to Greg. Obviously,
you're good.
I was gonna say like you deserve that love and credit because by God, the singing that you have already presented in that song or whatnot is amazing. It's phenomenal. Like,
amazing. I know.
I almost want to. I'm almost anxious to hear like the full song because like I want to know like how, especially so fact this would be like the big villain song. So we got like the big 3 villains or whatnot that you're presenting for at least like the this little part or whatnot. I want to see like how their vocals are gonna like interweave with each other and like how they're gonna shine at the end of the day because I know, especially with the excitement that you have for it, it's gonna just knock my socks off. It's gonna be out of this world, out of this multiverse more than anything else.
It's amazing. It is amazing, seriously. It's like a jazz musical number. It's really jazzy. A lot of like brass, a lot of trumpet in there, you know, like a little something in every little aspect of the instrumental, plus the vocals. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I listen to the song whenever I can because I downloaded it onto my phone. So I'm sitting here like no one knows what I'm listening to, you know? I'll be jamming out while I'm working on my college work and nobody knows.
It's like, best concert ever. Audience of 1. Let's go.
Not for real. Like no one knows yet, but I'm jamming. Like
or no, it's more or less that meme of just like the party's going on, then there's just you in the corner be like, no one knows I am banging my head to the coolest song possible.
Yes. Literally, it's just oh my gosh. Like everyone like they exceeded my expectations. Not that my expectations were low, but they exceeded whatever expectations I had because you know Amanda and Nolan David as well, just their singing is incredible. Like when I was listening back to the tracks that they had sent in, I was like wow, like Jesus Christ. So I'm just excited for you guys to hear all that we've got, seriously.
I mean it's gotta be at least like surreal for you, especially at this point because you know I haven't said this at this point, but like you're also like relatively young. You're like what 19 years old, like going for this kind of thing. Like here you are this young, really putting forward this incredible concept with such a talented cast and crew behind you and whatnot. Like it's gotta be surreal hitting you that like I'm actually getting the chance as soon as I possibly can to like make my dream a reality. Like it like I said, it has to be surreal for you to think that you're actually going for it and doing it and doing a phenomenal job on top of that.
Seriously, it's been a life-changing ride. Ever since I've gotten to SCAD, actually, there have been people who already know about the show, and I don't even have to say anything. Some people have gone like, oh, I've seen your show online. It's awesome. And actually, funny story, I really want to tell this one because the story was so... I told my friends, I told my family, they were like, what in the world? So in my printmaking class that I'm taking right now at SCAD, we had to make a print based off of a work of art that we already have. So I chose one of, and I was allowed to do this. I chose one of the designs that Bryn had done for our merch.
Okay.
And it was I think it was Vapor and Kester. Yes, it was Vapor and Kester. And so I'm setting my stuff down and I'm getting ready to start. And one of my classmates stops me and she goes, you know, we're not allowed to do fan art, right? And I go, what, you know, because I kept thinking in the back of my head, oh, she might think it's Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss, because we get that a lot. And so I was like, oh, no, it's not fan art. And she was like, but I've seen that blue character on TikTok. And so I stop and I go, what's TikTok? And she goes, the one with the zipper. And I go, so this is my OC. these are my characters. And she literally goes, oh my God. And she, in the middle of class, gets on her knees and does this. And I was like, oh my God. And I was thinking in the back of my head, I never expected that reaction. I expected, oh, is that from Hazbin Hotel? Oh, is this a Hazbin Hotel scene? Because we get that a ton. Like, I understand the comparison. Like, I get it. But that was not something I was expecting. And on this campus, people have said, like, oh, I've seen sneak peeks of your pilot. Like, I'd never expected just, like, the in-person response. Because I just thought, like, we're going to be a little low-key on the internet for a bit. Like, that's cool. We're still making our awesome pilot, like, whatever. But then I get here, and it's like, oh. So, it's been a fun ride.
I mean, that's more than anything else. The fact that you have that much of a reaction in public, in a classroom setting more than anything else. Like, obviously it's probably a little bit more of a laid-back classroom setting, but in an actual classroom setting, having someone be on their knees being like and of all places, insane. TikTok as well. Like, come on.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, it's insane. Just the response, because I told Bryn, like, I never went into this thinking we were gonna get like a huge community out of it first starting out. Like, I know that there are communities for everything, but the immediate response that we got, especially after we did post our TikTok videos, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now I'm seeing people, like someone on Tumblr, I can't remember their tag right now, and I would plug them if I did have their tag, but they made a Kester like pendant. Okay. Like, to wear around their neck. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, jeez. Oh my gosh. And there are people telling me, Kester's my comfort character. Vapor's like a character that I'm really excited to see. Like, I love his design. I'm going to draw fan art of him. And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh. Like, jeez.
I think you've inadvertently made a Tumblr sexy man. I'm just saying that.
I made two. I made two. I'm excited to make more.
It's like, hey, this is the multiverse. Lord knows how many more of them you're gonna be making. Like, you're making you're making like a factory line of just like, all right, we're doing one for this universe, do one for this universe.
No, for real. I'm just gonna keep it going. I know what the people want.
I mean, it's like, that's another thing. Like, not only is it surreal the fact that you're getting to this point to actually make this thing, but like you said, it's surreal to think that there's already this much of a love and appreciation for this. And you guys have only been like showing like little clips of like animatics or whatnot. Like, you've only shown like maybe a handful of actually like completed animations when it comes to this stuff. Like, it's insane the amount of love that this show has already gotten, and the amount of people that are already like clinging on to it and like really excited to see this thing go forward. I mean, I can only imagine for you, it's gotta be both like a blessing and a curse, because now you have this audience, but now you gotta be like, I hope they like what we put forward.
Yes, that's been the anxiety on my end, is just like, our team is doing amazing, and I have no doubts that, the pilot's going to still look just as amazing as it already does. But it's just like, I guess a part of me is anxious, like, how is the internet going to react to this when it comes out? And, where is indie animation going to be when it comes out? I mean, we've actually had to push back the deadline a little bit, like, for when this is going to come out. Like, the release year is now 2026. That's just because animation takes time, like, guys. And it's hard, because a part of me is like, are people going to think that this was worth the wait? Because we've had people who have been following this project since the voice actor reveal video. So, I mean, these are people who are just saying, when is it coming out? I can't wait for it to come out. When is the release date? Like, what, like, when is the release date going to come out? And so, a part of me is like, are they going to be satisfied? Or are they going to not be as happy with it? So that's something that I think about in the back of my head, but I try not to let it bring me down, because again, we're not making this for any fame or anything like that. We're making it because we're passionate and we love animation, and we want to make our thing a reality,
I mean, if nothing else, like it for those that especially have gotten up to this point when it comes to the conversation, like, if seeing the excitement you have for this idea, and seeing obviously the years of love when it comes to just animation as a whole, but obviously seeing the love and appreciation you have for the people that are helping you get to this point, like, if that's not a testament to like how much this is more about like the love and passion for what you have for this project, more than any amount of fame or any amount of views or however much bank you guys could potentially get, like, I don't know what is. I mean, that's the beautiful thing when it comes to indie animation. Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to how much do you guys really love what we're putting out there, because how much, like, both as a creator but also as a fan, like, how much do you really love what you're putting out there? I mean, you could easily I imagine you can easily test this talking to so many other indie animation creators or whatnot, like seeing the amount of love these people have for their craft and like how they're willing to push forward and go forth presenting this kind of stuff at the end of the day. Like, I imagine that has to inspire you a little bit, just being like seeing all these incredible projects being put out there or whatnot. Like, if you're not already motivated enough, that's just another level of motivation to really get this thing out there to the best of its abilities.
Exactly. And I always tell people, like, I know we've had like the live streams for Horizonauts when they were doing their Kickstarter. I know I talked about it for a brief moment during one of the streams, but making something should never be about the views or the fans you get out of it. It should literally just be because you love what you're doing. Because all of these other shows that have gotten really big were not made because they were like, let's get more views, let's make more money. Right. No, that's usually not what attracts, attention, or that's usually also not what attracts, love for your project. It's just being passionate and just loving what you do and just making something just to make it, like just doing it because, at the bottom of your heart, you just want to see it happen, just to be like, this is my baby and I'm just going to watch it grow, like that's how I am with Zipped Up. And seeing, and even just talking to other creators who are making something, whether it's a pilot or a game or anything of that sort, I love seeing the way that their eyes light up when they talk about it, because that's how I know that that's something that they've always wanted to do, is just make something. Because I'm not trying to say it's rare, because a lot of people are making amazing things, but I will say I've noticed recently some people are like, I'm going to make this just because I want views, or I want to just be where this person is. You shouldn't, like, none of these people who have their shows on platforms, on streaming platforms, or who have their shows or games on big other big accounts, they didn't get there because they just wanted to be there. They got there because they worked hard and they were passionate and they loved what they were making. That's where it all comes from.
I was gonna say, like, I think I can also attest to this. Like, it's very rare to see someone putting forth and making something just for it to be successful and then it be successful. Like, you can honestly tell that, like, from a lot of the projects that a lot of people like to get around and a lot of people love and they want to show out to the world, like, you can tell from the beginning from its humble beginnings to, like, getting the crowd reaction in one form or another, that there's a lot of love and passion that goes into a lot of these projects, and that's the ones that truly make it. Those are the ones that truly get to that point where, like, you see the artists really get creative and put forth, like, everything that they can for this fun creative idea, just like what you guys are putting out there when it comes to Zipped Up. Like, every little bit that I've been able to see, every little fun interaction when it comes to, like, the characters that you have presented or whatnot, like, every little note of the fun song that you've been able to tease here and there or whatnot, like, you can tell there's a lot of love and passion behind this project, and it makes me excited to see when you guys are able to actually go forth and present this fun idea out to the world.
Yeah, no, we're just stoked. We are so excited for people to see what we've been working on. I'm really hoping, because very soon we're trying to launch our Kickstarter. We will be posting all kinds of advertisements and, what's going to be a part of the Kickstarter. Like, what are people going to get out of it? We're going to be doing all kinds of advertising about that later on. But even that aside, just like it's just been amazing. We can't wait to show people what else we've been up to. We're really working hard to make sure that the trailer for the series will be fun to look at for folks, because I know a lot of people have been waiting to see their favorites animated. So trust every character at least once in this trailer you will see them move. Don't worry.
And I'll tell you right now, like, I have a really strong feeling when it comes to, like, this trailer and this Kickstarter or whatnot, because, like, if people have not already, like, as you can tell, like, you got a very strong fan base. I think a lot of them would be more than happy to show out that love and support and really help make this thing a series. So when that Kickstarter does happen, you're able to make this thing past the pilot or whatnot, I have a few suggestions for some of the different multiverses that you guys can transfer into or whatnot.
Do tell.
Totally legit list, aka I'm making this off the top of my head. For example, a universe where everyone's a fish. Like even whenever the main characters go into the world, they become fish characters themselves or whatnot. Like to
such a fun one.
Because if nothing else, like wouldn't it be fun to do kind of like a Little Mermaid-esque parody or whatnot with all the fish in that world or whatnot? Because I mean, like the musical element alone leads a lot to the imagination.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. Oh my gosh.
Considering the fact that you have the big three with their villain song or whatnot being a part of a circus, a universe where everyone's a clown. Like, just you know, can you imagine the sound effects that come with those musical numbers as is alone or whatnot?
The clown noise sound effects, like...
Yeah, like, after a certain point, like, they'll be, like, clasping their nose or whatnot. It's not gonna be horns, it's gonna be, like, trumpets or whatnot, like... And
then they all start singing and then dancing, like, imagine.
Exactly. A world where where the entire world is at a 90-degree angle, aka everything is sideways or whatnot.
The whole episode's just like flipped like this way, like
exactly, and like basically like the way that they have to traverse through the world is they have to climb up, like it's like they're mountain climbing off of a straight edge right there or whatnot.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
And then finally, a world where everyone has a podcast, just so I can make my cameo.
The podcast episode, it's like every single podcaster ever. Everyone plays a cameo.
It's like the world is just basically like a giant office of like soundproof like cubicles or whatnot with like glass over it or whatnot. So it's like you have like the ones that are like loud and rauncous or whatnot that you can kind of hear. Like you can see the lights peering out of or whatnot, like the traditional neon lights that you see in the background or whatnot. And then you have like the super quiet, almost like the ASMR kind of ones or whatnot, to where like for example, if one of the main characters like sips on the roof, that the peer be like, "Hey, we're recording here."
That'd be too good. Hey, I mean, look, if that episode happens, you know who we're gonna hit up first. Just saying. I
was gonna say, like, I can go ahead and just straight up say, if you guys just need like a random background character or whatnot, have Mike. We'll travel even past just the podcast episode. I'm more than happy to help out with what you guys have to present. You guys doing some cool stuff, and I'd love to hear my voice in it. Just saying.
Just saying. We might be looking. Who knows? Who knows? One day well, you'll be the first person that we email, guaranteed.
I will definitely be keeping that in mind. But I mean, regardless, like, even just thinking of like what you guys are able to present or whatnot, like. And like at the end of the day, like with what you guys have been able to present, it's gotta be insane to think that, like, again, you have this like love and support already that it's gotta be both a task but also like a pleasure to actually present this thing to the folks. So I have to ask, like, when you guys do get the opportunity to finally present this to the world, like whether it be the pilot episode or every episode afterwards or whatnot, what should they expect from Zipped Up?
Ooh. I mean, what we were thinking of doing is seeing how the public responds to the pilot first before we do anything else. And then, it really depends on what happens from there, because if we think, okay, let's start a Kickstarter for the first full season, then we'll do that. But if something comes along the way where we can just make things and get funding from somewhere else, that'd be also really awesome. You never know. I mean, indie animation can take you such a long way. It just depends on how the public responds. So if we get a good response and people really want more, we'll make more. If not, then you might see comics, you might see, maybe more merchandise. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Just depends.
Well, I mean, regardless, I think at the end of the day, especially with, again, I've said this enough, but the amount of love and support you guys have been getting, there's definitely got to be more in one form or fashion. I know people are going to be clamoring and wanting to see so much more from what you guys have to present. I know I certainly can't wait for it. And, as one of many at this point that has been big when it comes to what you guys are presenting when it comes to Zipped Up or whatnot, like, I also gotta say, you mentioned someone earlier, Zach P or whatnot. It's gotta be really cool to have him on board, considering the fact that in turn you're able to turn around and be a color script artist for Zamimations or whatnot, or Zamination, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister sometimes. Say it 5 times fast and see what happens.
Let's I imagine it's gotta be like really kind of cool and surreal, the fact that, like, on top of getting that incredible help with you, you're able to turn around and give that love and help right back for something as cool as Zamimation or whatnot.
It has been insane. It's been life-changing. Seriously. Like, I know I said the same thing about the pilot, but just Zach has been the kindest soul to us. Seriously. Bryn and I are both working on Zam, and it just being able to be a part of something that's it's also kind of considered like my first genuine like film credit for multiple things. I'm in 2 music videos at the moment, one for color scripting, the other one for illustration. It's just been wonderful to also just be there during the production of these music videos and everything else that they're doing outside of that, because I get to see kind of like the breakdown of it all, and it almost inspires me to do certain things differently on my own team. Right. So it's been wonderful. And Zach has been the sweetest person ever. He has been so welcoming. His team has been so welcoming, and I really just couldn't have asked for anything better. Especially to be like my first genuine like creative job outside of Zipped Up, as someone who is my age, freshman year in college, you know. It's been great. It's seriously been great.
Plus, I mean, like you said, like you're working on music videos, which is kind of like right up your alley. So the fact that you're a musical person, like you love that musical theater aspect of it. So the turn around and be working on these fun music videos or whatnot, like that's got to be like super surreal, especially with the cast that have been able to be for the songs that you've been able to help out with so far.
It's been insane. Like I was telling Bryn about it the other day, but I'm pretty sure I've been listening to like Zamination's like music videos for a lot longer than I thought that I had, because just little fun fact about me, my favorite genre of music is just fan songs. I listen to Five Nights at Freddy's fan songs. I listen to TADC fan songs. I listen to old fan songs from like 2016. Like that's just what I love. I love remixes. I love the beat. I love it. I love all of it. So when I ended up working for Zam and I saw all the things like even Fazbear and Friends, I had no idea. I didn't piece it together until I got there, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, wow, I'm gonna fit in a lot better than I anticipated. Let's go.
Literally. Like I remember like in over quarantine, I remember watching Fazbear and Friends with my friends, and I was like, this is so funny. And like who would have thought that someone would be so creative enough to make this like a series, like just goofy Five Nights at Freddy's multiversal like indie universe. Like I love it. And I remember when I saw the name, I was like, wait, that looks really familiar. Go to YouTube, and I'm like, Fazbear and Friends, what? And then also like even like something as minor as the Survive the Night music video from like way long ago when I watched that when I was young, way little. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, I work for them now. What do I do? What do I do with this information? It's been so fun.
Also, I love the irony of like, this fun little, musical multiversal little concept. Oh wait, which one am I talking about? At this point? Am I talking about Fazbear and Friends, or am I talking about Zipped Up? Which one?
Well, yes. And then also, like, another thing is I never pieced together how many characters Michael Kovich voices.
Yeah.
In that series, I never pieced that together. There are some characters, like, recently Zam had a live stream when Wacky World 2 came out. Yep. And when we were talking in the live stream, it was either Zach or Micah. Somebody said, like, oh, Michael also voices, and then, like, they just list every character, and I was like, what? And now I can't unhear it, because I just hear it now.
I mean, to be fair, this is Michael Kovac we're talking about. You throw a dart at just about any indie animated project, odds 9 times out of 10 he's had a voice in that show, okay?
Literally. Yes. Oh my god. I'll never forget. And I was talking to a lot of the folks on the Zipped Up crew about it because we thought it was so funny. Voice actor reveal video comes out on TikTok. Like we post it on every social media platform, but TikTok's response was so funny. If you guys have access to TikTok, please read the comments on that video. It's all just, is that Michael Cohen? Is that Michael? Oh my god, here he is again. Like, it's just every single comment, and it's so funny. Oh my gosh.
It leads to people at home asking, when are we getting the Michael Kovac episode of the Postmodern Art Podcast? Anyways,
hey, I'll let him know.
I mean, to be fair, if I really want to, I have like 20 different connections to the guy if I really wanted to make the episode a thing, all right? Like,
exactly.
I am friends on Discord with his roommate, Cadaver Dave, all right? So, like, I could really make that happen.
I mean, all you gotta do is shoot a little email. He'll definitely check it out. I'm just saying.
But I mean, regardless, like, thinking about, like, all the different aspects of what we've been able to talk about. Like, not only the fact that you get to work on such incredible stuff, such as, you know, with zamination and working on your own stuff when it comes to Zipped Up. Hell, thinking all the way back to whenever you had, like, that love for animation as young as 5 years old and like, wanting to be a part of that field. Does it amaze you more or less how much you have been able to develop as an artist?
It really has. It's something that I think about a lot. I always tell people this, and like this is off topic, but also on topic, so don't worry. But it's something I always say. Don't compare yourself to other artists. Compare yourself to how you were drawing last year or the year before that, or how your work looked when you first started, because that's what I always do. And if anything, from how I was then to now, and like my understanding of animation as well has like completely evolved. Like it's like at a whole new level. Like I never pieced together when I was younger. Like, of course in the videos they would explain it, but I never really thought how many people it took to just finish one shot.
Right.
Like one shot of animation could take like maybe way more than like 3 or 4 people, like just to get everything. Like for example, Vapor is a walking effect. Because his head is like it's a thing of fire. So I remember when we were like, okay, let's start doing animation for Vapor, I was like, okay, wait a minute, we need to break him down. And so I was like, we have rough animation, but then we have rough effects animation, and then we have cleanup, and then we have compositing, and then we have to do this and that and this and that. And there was so much that had gone into it just for it to like be just done. That I never thought about it until I got here. Until I got in this position to make my own animation with an incredible team of people, I now understand like why certain shows take so long to finish. Because I remember way when I was younger, I was like, why is Steven Universe always on hiatus? Well, like, why can't they just release the episodes now? Because they're trying. They're working as hard as they can.
It's not that they don't want to. They need to, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They need to take that hiatus, y'all. Look, it's the same thing with TADC. Everybody was like, we're gonna wait so long for the next episode. Why? Because it takes so long, guys. Especially for 3D animation. Oh my god, it takes so long. Like, oh my gosh. A lot of people, I don't think they like realize like the sheer amount of people it just takes to create even one shot.
Yes.
A few like a second or 2 long shot just from one episode of an animation. Seriously, it takes so long, but it's worth the wait every single time.
I was gonna say, like, I've previously had on the podcast Kevin Temmer, who is the lead animator for the Glitch and the Amazing Digital Circus and such, and like you know, seeing his stuff online, especially on TikTok where he mainly does posts or whatnot, kind of seeing like the breakdown when it comes to the animation shots and like the things he has to do to make something work or whatnot. That's just him on like a handful of shots. That's not the entire 20-30 minute episode that you guys fully see.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So that's why the time doesn't even be taken. And like I can easily understand for you, like now that you're actually in this field and trying to make this thing yourself, like whatever love and appreciation you had beforehand, it's on like a whole different level now, I bet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's so fun because now when I go see animated movies with my friends, I actually beg them to just stay for the credits.
Yep.
Because it never hurts. Like, I mean, everyone on that list, I mean, they work their butts off, y'all. Like, I just want to sit there to watch the credits roll to give them that appreciation, because you never know, like one day it could be someone that you might be working with that'll be in the credits of one of those insane movies, So it doesn't hurt to just sit through and just go, wow, that person did a really good job, for effects in this movie, or they did a really good job on the CGI in this movie. Like, just sit and just watch. Like, it doesn't hurt. Like, I know everybody always says, like, what if there's a post-credit scene? Don't even think about the post-credit scene sometimes. Sometimes just sit and just read all the names and just think in the back of your head, that is somebody who worked their butt off on this movie or on this show. Like, it's awesome. My favorite thing to do with TADC is just to read the credits and be like, I know that person, or this person did such a good job, or this person, wow, I love doing that.
Oh yeah, it's like, I know this person, like for me, here's the thing, for me, especially these days, like watching indie animated stuff and then looking at the credits afterwards, like, hey, I know this person, I talked to this person, I've chatted with this person.
And then sometimes it almost makes you just want to just text them and say, hey, how are you doing? Yeah. I saw your work in this and it was really cool. Like, it never hurts to do that either. Like, even if, okay, literally, shout out to everybody watching this podcast right now. even if you're not like talking to the people that are in these credits, literally if you know them and you know their Instagram or their Twitter, send them a message just saying how good they did. It doesn't hurt. It's just spreading the love.
I was gonna say, no, literally, like with every new episode of Amazing Digital Circus, I make sure to send 2 messages to people that I know that were on there. I send one to Kevin saying fantastic job with what you did. I send one to Alex Rashawn, the voice of Kane, being like, you did a phenomenal job with that. Like it's insane.
It really is.
Plus they're both like fantastic people. Like I love them sincerely. But,
sweetest people ever.
Oh, absolutely. But man, we've talked a lot about obviously like the work you put into this stuff and the love and passion you have for this kind of stuff. But for this next question, if I may, I want to go a little bit above and beyond and give you more or less the dream scenario, if I may. Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to you and I'm like, look, man, we know that you've done some phenomenal stuff. We've seen what you've been teasing, and we know that there's more there. There's a lot you could present. You just need a little extra push, a little extra platform to get you to that point. We have access to everyone and anyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than should be possible. We really should be compensating the artists right now. They're currently trying to make sure that they have a good deal or whatnot. You know, make sure they get like health insurance and enough money to actually get a good place to stay. You know, hashtag save with animation, always and forever.
Yes.
But right now we are focusing on you and you alone. We'll get to them. I promise. We are focusing on you and you alone. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream? What would be the dream Min Cotton project?
That's an interesting one. When you say project, elaborate a little more.
I mean,
I'm trying to
like I said, access to everyone and anyone, more money than should be possible. It could be a full length series, a full length movie. Hell, it could be just a studio to where you can make more of this stuff over and over again, like all the different ideas you have brewing or whatnot. Like again, basically blank check. Let us know how much we need to spend. You tell us what you want. We got you covered.
I definitely think building for a studio would be really awesome.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it never hurts to just, like, have a special on-site spot that people can work at. I also really badly, and I always say this, I really just want to change the game and, like, how people run their studios, because I feel like there's not enough just, like, being nice to people.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
When it comes to Zipped Up, like, we just try to just be kind, and we try to just make it a safe space for everyone to just be passionate and love what they do, instead of it just being finish this on time, bye. You know, we try to, you know, we really, especially during our meetings, like we'll just have like little yap sessions in the middle of meetings about random stuff, because it helps us get to know each other. It helps us enjoy ourselves. You know, it doesn't always feel so like business, you know. And I feel like if I were to have enough money to get my own building for my own studio, and maybe even also possibly get like a network channel on cable TV, that'd be awesome, because bring cable TV back. I'm sorry, y'all, but like not everybody can afford streaming, and I feel like it's just better for the newer generation to grow up with cable again. Like I feel like cable and any television, any entertainment should be accessible by everybody. It shouldn't just be, I'm gonna spend $15 a month. No.
You're right. No, it's not just $15 a month, especially when they get more than enough money. They want to keep bumping it up to 17, 18, 20, 25.
Exactly.
Not naming any particular studio, especially ones that begin with a big old red N at the beginning of it.
Exactly. But seriously, like I really, those are the two things I'd love to do. Bring back cable TV with possibly my own network, or my own studio building. That'd be awesome. That's like the dream, you know? Because I feel like everybody, they always say, I want to make a show and work for this studio. I want to make a show and get it greenlit at Cartoon Network. I want to get it greenlit at Nickelodeon. And it's like, what if you want to make your own thing?
Yeah.
Like, idea. Like, technically anything's possible as long as you work really hard and you're prepared for the ups and downs. Trust, like, anything's possible. Everyone starts somewhere, and it doesn't hurt to think outside of the box. I think making my own thing where other people can also make stuff would be really fun and awesome. So that's the dream.
There you go. Well, you know what, Mr. Moneybags, here's the check. Get that thing going. We got you covered. If you need any extra, we'll give you a ring. How about that?
Thank you.
But sadly, we have to get down from that dream scenario. We gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic question. Where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years. Ooh. So that's an interesting question because I always say it depends on where Zipped Up ends up.
Okay.
I always say that because if Zipped Up is very successful, then I'd like to do a lot more in indie and hopefully spotlight other shows or work with other studios or other people in indie animation to, put a little spotlight on the people that probably don't already have a spotlight on them, and if that's not the case and if Zipped Up is like, we released it and people loved it but not to the point where it's like I can do something with that platform, that's fine. I'll probably still make stuff with the characters but not anything as big as like an episode because we won't be able to have that funding if it's not received well online. So might make another thing, might wait a little bit, who knows. I'm still in college, so that'll give me more time to work towards my portfolio, my resume, where I'm actually, I'm in Atlanta, so SCAD's not that far from a lot of other awesome studios and a lot of other awesome, folks in general, just people in the area who are willing to just pick up college students for work. So, that would be the second option. Plan B is just to keep working hard, never stop working hard, see what else I can do with my career, it doesn't hurt. I love animation and I want to make a difference the best that I can. Zipped Up, isn't the only thing that I'll do. So, who knows? We'll see.
No, ever since Georgia became a major hub when it came to like film and such, ever since they really like incentivized more like film studios in general to come down to Georgia and like have their productions based in Georgia, like the fact that there's that much access for you going to college in Atlanta right now, like it's amazing the amount of possibilities that are there, especially once you get done with college. I mean, again, you're just starting, so I mean, you still got a lot. You still got a lot to think about, but still, like it's insane the possibilities that are down there. I actually went to college. I need to finish up my degree, but I went to college for filmmaking with the intent of like working in Atlanta or whatnot. So and it was that tax incentive that was a major reason why I wanted to be a part of it because. Well, since they want people down here, there's more opportunities for people like me to do this. And here I am hosting a podcast, being a forklift operator.
But look, everyone has a dream and everybody starts somewhere and at their own pace as well.
Exactly.
Like that's another thing is like I my entire life said I want to do animation. I'm doing color script work. Yep. That doesn't hurt. Like I'm literally not even complaining because like I know it's a part of the process, you know. And look, change isn't gonna happen unless you start like figuring out like where you want to start to make that change like happen, Exactly. So I always tell people because a lot of people at SCAD always ask me like, how did you just start? And it's like because I knew if I didn't start when I knew it was right to, nothing would have happened and nothing would have been done. No one else is going to walk up to you and say, you need to do this if they don't already know you want to do it, So, I mean, if you're passionate about it and you really want to go for it, I mean, LinkedIn exists. Yep. Social media social media is awesome. You can really like if you get a platform, put your work out there, put your stuff out there. If you just keep working and keep building up that portfolio, that resume, sooner or later you'll be where you want to be. It takes time and it takes a lot of hard work, but it's possible.
Hey, it's a good mentality to have, and honestly, really good words of wisdom. Like, thank you for sharing that little sprinkle on.
Yes, of course.
As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I want to ask you. Obviously, you are deeply invested in art, and you've been invested for years, probably as long as you can probably remember. Like, art has been a major part of your life. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Ooh, art, in my opinion, is very important. Little do people know that everything that they consume and everything that they buy is technically art. The furniture in your home is art. The things that you buy at the store, even if it's for little Timmy that just wants an action figure, that's art. Artists literally create everything that we consume, that we love, that we even watch on television. Advertisements are art. Everything. Music is art as well. So it's something that I say, like, it's easy for me to say it's life-changing, but it's also just something that we consume every single day. It's one of the most important parts of living is just consuming artwork, consuming other people's ideas and consuming other people's passions and just seeing what happens along the way, that's how I see art. I know going to SCAD for myself has been life-changing because I've seen students design cars. Never in my life, like you see a car on the road and you're like, That's a car. You don't think that somebody designed that car. You don't think that somebody literally got into like into a room and said, okay, we need to do this different. We need to add this. Maybe this will look better. Maybe we could do this on the inside of the car. You just don't think about those little things. One person or a team of people put those ideas together, those creative ideas, mesh them into one moving art piece that we use every single day of our lives. So I keep that in mind all the time. I actually, little more fun fact about me. I went to an arts high school, and my art teacher told me that even the buildings you walk into are considered art. Oh, yeah. Architecture is art. Science is technically an art. Math is technically an art. Like everything is an art if it creates something for other people to either be inspired by, consume, etc. So think about it. You're living in art right now. You have art behind you. Yes. I have art behind me. Yeah. I live in art. You live in art. Like, you know, so art is literally life. Like, that's what it is. And so for me to just say art can change lives, that doesn't mean anything if we're already living in art right now. So,
I think that is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, that is all the questions I have for you. I've already showered you with a whole bunch of praise at this point, but it's my podcast.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm going to shower you with a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what I want.
Thank you.
Look, like I said, ever since I first really even heard about Zipped Up, I have been like invested to see what you guys have been able to do. Like just the concept alone, like I'm not joking when I say this, like it had me hooked, line and sinker, like just wondering what in the world you guys are going to be presenting with this weird, unique, multiversal, but also like really upbeat, cheery kind of concept that you guys have going on with all these unique characters and all their unique designs. Like I know, especially out there with the indie animation world, it's very easy to find unique concepts, but like at the same time, with what you're able to present, like it has me excited to see what you guys are going to be doing from this point forward. Like, especially what you guys have been able to present, it has me very excited with what you guys have planned. Getting the chance to talk to you now, like it gives me a whole new level of love and respect for what you have to do, what you guys are doing when it comes to this kind of thing, because it lets me know that like there is a lot of love and passion and care behind this concept. Like this isn't just something that you just randomly jumbled together, being like, hey, you know, like multiverses are like the cool thing, let's do a multiversal thing. Like no, like you clearly put a lot of time and care into this concept, and it makes me excited to know that like whatever's going to happen, whether it be just the pilot or, you know, a full season, 5 seasons, 20 seasons, Lord knows however many like opportunities you guys let's hope. Like it's really, I know that like every single second is gonna be really insane, and I am excited to see where not only you but your entire cast and crew is gonna be going from this point forward to really bring this idea to life. Like it has me really excited, and it has me rooting for you at the end of the day. Like I cannot wait to see what you are able to present with this and whatever you're gonna be doing from this point forward, because I know that like everything you're going to be able to have a hand in or whatnot, you're going to knock it out of the park every opportunity that you get. I know, because I can tell you have that love for animation as a whole, and you want to survive and thrive and then some. So it lets me know that whatever happens next, you're going to do everything you can to make it the best thing possible, and I cannot wait. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for putting forth such quality stuff, and like I said a million times before, I am excited, and I will have your back every single step of the way. So thank you.
You're going to make me cry on the podcast. Min crying reel. Like, that's what it's going to be. Min 5 seconds is what it's going to be. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Hey, and thank you so much for having me. Seriously.
Oh, no, absolutely. And hey, I'm just being honest at the end of the day, because I could, like I said, like I could tell you guys are doing some cool stuff. And like, I already got you on the podcast. Why would I lie to you at this point, you know?
Yeah, no, you get me on and you're like, actually, I don't like your show. Oh, okay.
I get you on. It's like, yeah, I see what you guys are doing, but let me make it better. First off, let's see if we can incorporate AI into this. No, if I ever,
you like trap me in the podcast. You're like, you can't leave.
If I ever say anything like that, that is not the real me hosting. Something has happened to me, and send out a
that is AI.
That is AI. So I have been captured, held hostage. Someone please go find me if that is the case.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you so much for all of the love. It means so much. It's one of the reasons why I love doing what I do. I just love inspiring people. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm making this. That's why we're making this as a team. Like, we just want to inspire others to create and have fun with what they create. I mean, I feel like right now on social media, everybody's so big on numbers. Yep. That's all they talk about. I just recently heard someone say that 1 million views is not a lot. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
I was saying, look, I haven't had an episode of the podcast hit 1 million views, all right? You tell me 1 million's not a lot.
1 million is a lot of people. 1 million is a lot of people, but even still, your passion doesn't have to have 1 million followers or 1 million views to be considered an awesome concept or idea. At SCAD, I attended an executive producers panel. They literally said they just go on YouTube and watch whatever people release. Doesn't matter how many views it has. If they like the idea, they'll reach out and say something.
There you go.
So literally make your thing. Do it. Just create and have fun while you do it. Don't think about numbers. Don't think about followers. Stop thinking about algorithms. At the end of the day, create what you love, and if you really love it, somebody else is going to notice the love, and they might, send out a little nice comment, or they might even, support you even further by donating to a Kickstarter or a Patreon or anything of that sort. So seriously, just create, have fun.
Exactly. And people want to potentially reach out to you and talk about how incredible your stuff is, and maybe want to potentially get this stuff, or just see the incredible stuff I've been gushing about for the past, hour and a half, however long we've been recording. Go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home. Where can people find you?
Heck yeah! I go by Silly Minnie on all social media platforms. I do also have a Blue Sky. It's Silly Minnie. Isn't it like B Sky Social or something?
Yeah,
I can't remember how they do their tags. Yeah, I'm on everything pretty much. Usually the Zipped Up socials are always tagged in my bio too. If you want to go follow us on our other socials as well. Sadly, I do not have access to TikTok anymore. But if you want to support me on TikTok or our entire team, still go follow our TikTok if you do have access to TikTok, because we're still up and we're still trying to post. So seriously, like any way you want to support us, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, X.
I will call it Twitter until the day I die. Okay, like
no, literally. Oh, I always tell people it's always gonna be the Bird app to me. I don't care how many X's they put up or whatever. That's Twitter. that's the Bird app.
Look, the only X I'm gonna ever be concerned about when it comes to Elon Musk is the ex-girlfriends that he has telling the truth about how shit really went down. All right.
Podcast gets taken down. Elon's like, no more.
He doesn't own YouTube. I don't care.
We're good. We're safe.
And if you missed any of the links or whatnot, I'll be sure to have it in the description below. I got you
Heck
covered.
Yeah. And also, if you guys want to know more about, if you want to reach out to me for any work, hey, I'm available for work. I have a LinkedIn account, and it's just Prettlophine, my first name, and Cotton, Cotton, like the material. That's where you can contact me if you're interested in anything, any commissions you might have, any color scripts you might need. I'm right here, y'all. I'm a thriving college student who needs money.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, maybe thriving is a strong word in this situation.
I'm not. I need money. No, I'm joking. But seriously though, if you guys need absolutely anything, I'm always in support for indie as well. So seriously, I love all of the projects I've been seeing. There are some projects I work on that haven't even been posted about yet, but I'm working on them because I love helping. So,
there you go.
Just a little plug.
Exactly. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Keep creating, love what you do, and never stop the passion. Keep going. You got this.
And with that, all I have left to say is, for the people at home, if you can, please pay your artists.
Please do. People work way too hard to not get paid for what they do. Seriously, y'all. Oh my gosh.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can go open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you go when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it. like I said in the intro, with how wild and unique this concept is, I knew I had to get Prettlophine on here and just talk about this incredible stuff. And Prettlophine, Minnie, if you've gotten up to this point, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and thank you for your enthusiasm. Not just with being on the podcast, but like this project in general. That excitement is why I'm always happy to release an episode when it comes to Indie Animation Day. I'm always intrigued and excited to see what people are going to be putting forth on this day, whether it's being introduced to a new show or a new concept, or really sparking a flame, really revitalizing an idea that I had heard about once and I just could not wait to hear more of. And you know, with what Minnie and the crew are doing with Zipped Up, what little teases they've been able to push out there and whatnot, it's exciting, and I cannot wait for you guys to see more of that. That's why I always try to promote what I can when it comes to Indie Animation Day. Which, by the way, speaking of Indie Animation Day, I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity right now to shout out the co-showrunner of this podcast, Tipsy J. Hart. She recently put out the first animatic of a concept that she has been working on called Cupid's Club. This is something that I've been seeing her tinker around with, mess around with some character designs, and honestly, like, it's really cool how she was able to put forth that first episode. Plus, for the voice actor, you know, nuts out there, Jonah Scott's in it. Just saying. Plus, former guest of the podcast, Psycho Riot, is also on there. What? In all seriousness, like, I'll leave a link to that in the description below, but please go check it out. It's really fun, and it's really cute how Tipsy put forth this first episode. It makes me excited to see what she's going to do next. And with that in mind, like, please take the time today, if you're not already, and every day, take the time to go out there. Check out, you know, hashtag Indie Animation Day, or just straight up just check out hashtag Indie Animation. Explore what cool, incredible concepts are out there. And even if it's as simple as just liking and reposting it, or if it's as much as if there's a Kickstarter going on, you're willing to donate some money to it. Support indie animation. Like, aside from the industry and how chaotic it can be, aside from how weird and wild the world can be right now or whatnot, the creativity that these people have on full blast, we need that love and support for them. And we really need to show that support and really raise up these voices, raise up these visions. There are so many incredible ideas out there, and I know that people need to see more of it. So take the time today and every day to just support indie animation.